beforehand. Yeah.
One. And welcome everybody to another wonderful session of High Vibe Channeling for this April 23rd, 2026. Today we have the distinct pleasure of Yvonne Buonamici and her higher self, Eve. And she has progressed from automatic writing to channeling for over 20 years and is in her fifth year now of doing videos. She is a longtime student of Seth, which is the entity which was channeled by Jane Roberts and transcribed by her husband, Robert Butts. And you can find more about her on her Facebook page, Eve Speak, and you can connect with her. And if you'd like to join that, and I'm sure she would like to have you attend and view those, she also has a YouTube channel of the same name, Eve Speak. And if she
No,
had,
the
oh,
YouTube
it's
channel is
under
my
your
name.
name. I'm sorry, the YouTube channel is under Yvonne Buonamici.
Mhm.
And if she has anything else to add, I'm sure she will chime right in. And we're looking forward to see what Eve has to say. And she has a special question for all of us to get into. And we're going to answer that question alphabetically. So I think we can all figure that out. But thank you very much, Yvonne. It's all yours.
All righty. Let me get her. And you can be thinking about the question she's going to ask you is, what is consciousness? So let me get her, and then we'll have you start answering that question.
Great. Thank you.
Yes. Good evening. We would like to begin by asking you what your definitions of consciousness are.
Thank you very much, Eve, for coming to speak with us. And to answer your question, what I believe consciousness is um, the the field that we live in and have our being in. Um, the um, the field, I guess, is what some people term it. I don't know if that is correct, but that is um, what what I think.
Very good. Next.
Okay. I guess that would be me, no? Yeah. For me, greetings, by the way. Uh, for me, consciousness is awareness, which can vary to many degrees, obviously, because we speak a lot about expanding consciousness, so it can be different. It can have different stages and degrees, and is different depending on the being. Like animals have a different type of consciousness
Very
than
good.
we. Yeah, so that's how I understand it.
And next.
Okay, so I'm supposed to answer what is consciousness?
Yes.
Consciousness to me are levels within our own mind, with our own being, soul, spirit. Um, it's awareness. It's a whole bunch of things, and there's many different levels.
Okay. And we have one more. Yes.
We actually have two more, and we're going to skip Dave because he's driving unless he wants to chime in with Wendy. Um,
Yes, you may.
okay. Um,
Go ahead.
Okay. Consciousness is everything because there is nothing which is not conscious. The dust particles in the air, our thoughts, everything, our memories, they're all conscious and all energy. Wendy and Dave?
I guess my simple statement would be self-awareness, but the awareness of all that is, and my awareness of the connection, my connection to all that is.
And I was going to say awareness of self, but everybody stole my answer.
Okay, very good. We would say that the closest to our understanding when we look at all of your answers, and all of them were very good, but we would say the ray of sunshine has come the closest because it is been defined by your scientists and psychologists and whatever as self-awareness and being able to communicate different from being conscious, like when you're awake, as opposed to, say, you're in a coma. That's different. But consciousness itself has been defined as being able to be self-aware. And we would say that, yes, everything is self-aware, whether you are able to communicate it in mm, uh, language, English, German, whatever, or not, you still have a self-awareness. Every molecule, every atom, every rock, most scientists would say, well, rocks don't have consciousness and they are not self-aware. But yes, they are. And the atoms are self-aware, and everything that is created and has been created is self-aware. So, um, there is an author whose name escapes us at the moment, who talks to particles, and he has published some books about that. And he will talk to, say, a particle of gold or a particle of stone or whatever. And he finds he can translate what they are giving him into words so that y'all as humans will be able to understand it and understand the memory that they maintain over sometimes centuries. So we are pleased that you all seem to understand that everything has consciousness. Everything that is created has consciousness. Now, this brings us to what does consciousness do? And we have spoken before about creating, that the cosmos or the great creator, whatever you wish to call God or whatever, creates, and that you create, and you cannot help but create. And because this is at the core of what you are a creator. And this is true, although it may seem to be difficult for some of you, and this is true of all consciousness. And this brings us back to the idea of there being um, things that appear to you to not work properly, but they do. That consciousness is constantly expanding, and you are creating more consciousness as you experience your realities, plural, all of your realities. So the cosmic consciousness is not contained. It's not limited in any way. And it continues to create more and more and expand more and more in the now. And this is where the problem comes in for many to try to understand how this can happen all at once. How can you be creating new consciousnesses without there being a duration, a physical length of time? But we tell you this is true. This is the way that reality works, cosmic reality works. So we wanted to go over that again, and we wanted to be sure that each of you understand this, that there is not a limit. You do not have to be human to be conscious. You do not have to be able to communicate in words or barks or the fluttering of a bee wing or whatever to be consciousness, that everything that is created and what you create, when you create new worlds, you are adding to consciousness. You are creating new consciousnesses. Paradox is the word that we were looking for earlier, that some of this may seem paradoxical to you, but that is only because of the perceptions you are now using. When you use other perceptions, not the five senses, not even the six senses that you name in this reality, you will find there are so many other ways of experiencing consciousness. So we wanted this to be more or less our topic for this evening. So we will pause for a moment to see what questions you may have at this point.
Hello, I have a question.
Yes.
So, on this topic, and since we are creators, we would assume that each book, painting, everything that humans create take up a life and existence and its own consciousness, every creation, right? So it exists then on another plane.
Yes. However, we would ask you to expand that. It is not just that, say, you have a painting, you paint a painting, and so it has consciousness and it creates. But every atom, every quark, every portion of that painting has consciousness. It is not just the painting itself, it is everything that makes it up, as well as the emotions that you are feeling while you are painting it. These emotions go out into the universe, they go forward. And, you know, there is it has been said, for example, that if you think a lovely thought in some other universe, a flower will grow. Now, we would not go that far, but we would say that these thoughts that you have, these emotions, these feelings that you have, they go forward and they affect other consciousness is. What is the plural of consciousness? Consciousness is, we guess. So they affect, because you are in communication always with all of consciousness. You are not, while you are individual and separate, you are not a separate consciousness per se, in that you can isolate yourself. You cannot isolate yourself from other consciousnesses. You are communicating with them always. And we know this seems beyond enormous. It seems huge. How can this be? But it is. It is. That is the way consciousness works, and that is the way creation works. As you participate in this physical reality, all of the yous, you are sending out messages, you are creating new consciousnesses, all at the same time. Is that understood?
Yes, thank you.
You're
We
very
we have done a pretty good job though now on Earth to separating ourselves.
Well, yes, and this is something that has come up many times, having to do with why are there so many what you perceive as negative actions occurring, and why have you chosen to be a part of it? When we have told you you create your own realities, why are you not experiencing peace, love, and beauty all the time? And there are reasons for this, and we have covered some of them, but let us make some additions to this. Now, when you agree or choose to come into physical reality, you know that you are limiting yourself as far as your perceptions. And this is done purposefully. You do it on purpose to explore a particular type of reality that will give you certain lessons, that will give you certain experiences that you cannot get in other types of reality. So when you are first, if we may go linearly again, when you are first born, you have incredible amounts of understanding, and there have been civilizations that were more aware than most humans are today of cosmic reality. So you have to unlearn a lot of things. You have to become even more limited in order to experience physical reality the way most humans do. Now, when you are experiencing something that you find uncomfortable or painful or traumatic, and we have said that frequently this is because other yous are not ready to resolve this yet. But there's also, in durational time, there is also preparedness. In other words, you may experience a trauma, and you may think, God, I would never ask for this trauma to happen to me. I'm going to meditate it away. I don't want to experience it. But in your terms, so many years down the road, you may find that that was very beneficial for you. You may say, oh, now I understand what lesson I have given myself from this past trauma. You see, it may be a preparedness. Now, what is going on now on the earth, where many are leaving, they're done with this physical reality, and they have chosen a way to leave that may bring an awareness to those who are still living their day to day, who are still on earth. And they are experiencing additionally ways that they do not wish what they create to occur. In other words, they are seeing what not to do, as well as experiencing day-to-day things that are uncomfortable, but which down the road may benefit them. It's difficult when one is in a situation that is traumatic or painful. It's difficult to see that there may be benefit to this down the road, but there often is. And in purely physical terms, we can say, for example, let us say someone loses a child, and after they have reached a certain level of mourning, they create mm, a mm, we're searching for the word foundation, say, that helps many, many, many other people, you see. And without having lost that child, they would never have created that foundation. Uh, Things such as this, there are mm, many physical things that can be pointed to down the road. This one in particular would tell you that her awareness of us was greatly facilitated by a trauma that she had. And during this trauma, her consciousness separated into three distinct personalities, three distinct entities that she could point to and say, this is one, this is another, and this is the largest, which was us. Now, she was already aware of us, but not on the same level, not to the same degree. And so you see, without having gone through this trauma, it's not sure that she would have connected with us as deeply as she had. Perhaps she would, perhaps down the road she would have created something different to become more aware. But this is the one she did. And in so doing, she also assisted another, the one who traumatized her, to have experiences, feelings, and emotions that this one would not have had. So you see, sometimes you have to accept what you are experiencing as positive, although at the moment it may appear to you to be something very negative. Now, we have also explained to you that there have been many Earths, and there will be many more Earths in linear terms. So at any point when you have had enough, so to speak, if your belief is strong enough, if your other yous agree, you can switch to another Earth. You don't have to stay necessarily on this one. Are there more questions at this point?
Yes, thank you so much, Eve, for coming and speaking with us. You talked about we can have the ability to switch to another Earth. Um, could you explain a little more about that, and also um, how we would actually do that?
Yes. As you know, time is simultaneous. Yes. So
Yes.
all of these probabilities are available to you once you learn how to manipulate them, or we should say, once you choose to manipulate them. Uh, if you feel that you have learned all that you can, that you have experienced all that you desire in the reality that your focused personality is now experiencing, and then all the other probabilities, including all the other Earths, are available to you. You need merely choose which one you want. Now, this sounds very simplistic, and it has in some ways to do with manipulation of space-time. And this is another thing that you are learning in physical reality is manipulation of space-time. Now, we have told you that there are many alien races that can already do this, and you may or may not be at the point where you can do this. But we would say, as we always have, that meditation is one way. Talking to your guides is another way. The main thing that you need to do this is a strong belief that you can. Now, we would like to go back to something that we did not discuss it here, but we discussed it with the one we call the wise one many months ago. And that is that if you think of a grid, yeah, like a cube, that is like a chain link fence, say, all over the place. And there's all these points on it, right? Where this square has 1, 2, 3, 4 points, and the next square has 1, 2, 3, 4 points. This is very malleable, and this you can think of as your physical experiences. Now you can twist it one way, and you will see points from here and points from here come together. Yes, that's one experience. You can
Yes.
collapse it. Yes, you can collapse it, and all these different points come together. Each of them is a different experience, etc. You can expand it. You can do all these things to it. And this would be a good form of meditation for learning how to switch from one physical reality to another. Additionally, you will want to have as much agreement as possible with all your other selves, especially the ones that are close to you, as we have discussed in the past, that you have selves that are more similar to you and some that are farther apart. Again, there is not a formula for this. It is individual. Uh, each person will have a different way that they choose to move, but you must choose it and you must believe it, not just intellectually, but you must believe it at your core that you are capable of doing this, and you are capable of doing it. You may also mm, uh, contact. I know many of you have alien contacts that you speak with or that speak through you or whatever, and many of them are capable of this switch in space-time, and you could ask them to assist you. Um, you could go to your guides. Again, there are innumerable, as many ways to switch Earths as there are human beings and other consciousness on the Earth. So you have to find which way works best for you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a very good, comprehensive answer. I really appreciate that.
You
Thank
are
you
so
so much.
welcome.
And thank you very much, Eve, for this particular exercise, lesson, and message. I'm going to ask a question about something that we all know is conscious, which is water.
Yes.
And I'm curious about how the expression of water in other physical realities besides the Earth plane. Can you explain how it may function there?
Well, yes and no. Again, uh, you have so many options, yeah? And so water, as you recognize it, H2O, water, right, uh, exists on other planets in your physical reality, but it does not exist in that form if you go beyond, like say you pass over, right? And now you are energetic, primarily energetic. Uh, you will not, after you have passed, you will not find water in the form of H2O. You will find energies of water. And these are very tightly combined with your own energies. As you know, your physical body is I don't know, 90%, 95%. There's a great deal of water that makes up your physical body. And you know that water responds to energies that you put out. I believe the scientist is Emoto, what his name was, that did the experiments with freezing water, with sending messages to water of love, and he would get beautiful crystals, or hate, and they would be all gross looking, the crystals that formed. This is also, okay, this goes off the side a little bit, but this is also very important when you are considering your personal body and how you want your personal body to manifest, that you keep in mind that your thoughts, your emotions, your words affect the water that your body is made of. Now, when you cross over, mm, the water energy is still present because it is a consciousness. This is true of everything, the ants, the rocks, the atoms, the bees, everything. When they cross over, their consciousness is still available. It's still being perceived, just not in the same way as it is perceived when you are in physical reality. So, water is just one of hundreds of thousands of energies after you pass over that you will encounter and may have recognition with, but you will not use it in the same way that you use it in physical reality. Now, as it exists on other planets or in other alien consciousnesses, that is much the same as you are using it in your physical reality. Does that help you at all?
Yes, because I was generally concerned about if it maintained the same form for other physical realities, and it is used as a basis for construction of that conscious exploration of the form that it takes.
Yes, it can be. Yes.
Okay, because I mean, there's nothing pretty much on our Earth which does not utilize water for the most part. There are rare exceptions, but almost everything has some sort of moisture within it.
Yes, yes. This is one of your what shall we say, laws, perhaps, or assumptions, root assumptions of this physical reality. You have you as humanity has set certain laws or rules, or some call them root assumptions, for the physical realities that you are inhabiting. And water is one. Also, mm, the way water affects or is a part of, say, the core of the earth. Yes, it is not just that it makes up your body and is necessary for life in mammals, insects, et cetera, plants, etc. But it also is a very important to the earth itself. It can take on, uh, let us, for example, think of what you call molten lava. Yes. Anything that has that type of fluidity has a connection to water. It may have a lot of water within it, or it may simply be a relative. But the very earth itself, Mother Earth itself, is highly connected to water.
Okay, and I have one more aspect on that because water has memory, in my understanding, of everything that it has encountered. And with
Yes.
all of the water, it helps store all of the events and everything that happens on the earth itself. And it is also used to convey information because as it evaporates to the clouds, then that information can come down in other parts of Earth, which can utilize that through rain. It's
Yes. We would say yes. However, again, you have to understand that this goes very small, to the very atoms of a drop of water. Uh, it is not that, say, a rainstorm. Say you have a rainstorm, and then all of that water evaporates and goes up into the clouds or whatever, and then falls somewhere else. And so the information that that water has goes somewhere else and falls, and that information is given to the earth or the people. It is by droplet, by atom, not by Like say you find a dried up riverbed, the archaeologists are going and they find a dried up riverbed. It is not that all of that water that was in that riverbed has given all of its information to some other place on Earth. It will be by the individual droplet, just as the information that you carry as a human being when you are creating different knowledges that you have will go to different new realities that you create. All of your knowledge, all of your emotions, all of your life is retained physically in your cells, but you do not grant all of it to one particular other person or to one particular other geographical area. It will be piecemeal, perhaps is the term we want to use. It will go out, different portions will go out to different places. Um, just as when you pass over, you do not retain your identity in the same way. We have discussed this before, I believe, that when you receive a message, say, from a loved one who has passed over, you are receiving only a small portion of their energy to give you that message. Most of them is doing something else elsewhere. Yeah, you're only receiving a small portion. This is the same that the knowledge, the information, and the energy of any given thing, such as water, which you have as humanity, you have decided to call H2O water. Okay, you've said this is the chemical makeup. And this is what we call water. And if you don't have that chemical makeup, you are not water. Uh, Again, these are arbitrary. So much of what uh, you believe to be truth in your physical linear reality are simply arbitrary definitions that humankind has made. They are decisions that they believe are useful to you, and they are useful to you in many ways, but they are not the complete reality. Do you understand this?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And that was a very detailed and appropriate and relevant explanation. Thank you very much for that.
You're very
Appreciate it.
welcome.
Anita?
Thank you again, Eve, for talking with us. And my question relates to Ray's question about water and something that he brought up earlier, which is, could you explain a little more about the memory of something like a dust speck? Ray had mentioned that in the beginning.
A
Um,
dust speck?
a dust speck or a piece of dust. How is memory actually stored in objects in physical reality?
This is not something that we believe you can understand. Uh, because it is not uh, like scientists will look at your brain, yeah, and they will say, in this part of the brain, you store memories of the past. In another part of the brain, you store information on how to move, how to make movement. In this part of the brain, you store memory of dreams, et cetera, et cetera. So they give it a physical placement, yes? You
Mhm.
can't do that with a speck of dust or an atom or whatever. You can't break it down. It is inclusive. It is
Okay.
part of creation. This is we are searching, but we do not find a way to explain this in physical terms. It is what you are. It is what creation is. It is through communication. For example, how does one piece of consciousness communicate with another piece of consciousness? And the only answer we can give you that is at all understandable in physical terms is to say it just does. It is what you are. It is who you are. It is how creation works. Mm, we feel this is not particularly satisfying, but we do not feel we can give you another answer.
Oh, oh no, that and actually this is a perfect answer. It
Oh,
just is amazing to me to contemplate because I never thought of this before, that something like dust could have memory. So
oh,
just the
yes.
confirmation that it does is to me miraculous.
Oh, yes. Well, given the restrictions on physical life, we would say that there is much that could be considered miraculous while you
Yes.
are in the physical now. Yes,
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for your explanation
you're
and
very welcome.
confirmation. Thank you.
You're very welcome. We will say that those of you that are here tonight and others that come to this meeting and meetings like this, you really know more than you think you do. You are aware of much, and you are wanting to be aware of much beyond your physical limitations, we will say. And so we urge you to be more trusting of yourself. If you feel something, chances are that's true or close to true in any event. It's a path for you to follow. Uh, you are not blocked as so many others are. This one, uh, we do not know why, but this one has a penchant for watching these stories of mm, murder and homicide and how the police officers find who did this, that, or the other, and finds that as she watches them, the limitations that the people involved in these have set upon themselves is just unbelievable to her. Why would someone set this type of limit? And we're talking about things like limits, religious limits, self-esteem limits, beliefs in mental illnesses, these things that it just goes on and on. All these limits that they set themselves, which result in mm, violence or mm, self-hatred or hatred of others. And it's so unnecessary, yet still very present in a physical reality as so many humans are struggling and learning about what they are capable of creating. So, is there more?
We have one more question if you have time.
Yes.
Um, Hello, Eve.
Hello.
I wanted to ask one more question about water because I was thinking about how water is all over the universe.
Yes.
And I was wondering how old is water? Does it predate the universe? What is its story?
Okay. Again, you are asking us a linear question. One of our goals and we do not know if it is even possible to accomplish this, but one of our goals is to get you all to stop thinking in linear terms. The universe is not linear. Time is not linear. Everything happens at once, simultaneous. Now, we spoke about simultaneous time. I don't know, the last time we were here or the time before that. So when you ask a question, does something predate something else? The question is meaningless because nothing predates anything, because everything occurs at once. You see, everything is occurring now, in the now. So water is occurring right now. Its effects, its molecular complexities, everything, it happens right now. This is, we understand, very difficult because when you live your day-to-day physical reality, linear time is just everywhere. It's encompassing you. But this is something you will be free of when you pass over. And if you can become free of it while you are in linear time, just imagine what is open to you. Now, we understand also that it is very difficult to live in your day-to-day without use of linear time. Although, speaking linearly again, when mankind first came onto the earth, linear time was not particularly relevant. It wasn't used very much. They didn't speak about this o'clock or that o'clock or whatever. And many things were just considered as happening when they happen. Yeah, there wasn't a limit set on them or a time frame set on them. But again, we answer by saying when you have questions that was this before this? Was this after this? When did this happen? When did that happen? They are irrelevant. They count for nothing because they are not true. You see, and we know that many who channel will give you these answers because they comfort you and they may assist you in exploring other selves that you have. But this is not our purpose. Our purpose is to get you to understand how true reality works, how cosmic reality works, and it works simultaneously. It is not cloaked in any way or any fashion with linear time. You see, so we urge you when you have these questions to switch your frame of mind and to say, wait, this did not come before that. This does not come after that. It is all simultaneous. It is all happening now. And then see how you can use that knowledge of now to assist you in your questioning, in receiving your answers, in your meditations, and living your day to day, because you can. You can very much. It will very much help you if you can rid yourself of this constant limitation. And we know it's improbable, probably impossible to do this 100% of the time, but you can do it when the deeper questions come up. You can say, wait, this is not relevant. It is not relevant to the cosmos. It is not relevant to me. You see?
Um, yes, I understand about the time. How would you rephrase the question to tell the story of water? Or how would you tell the story of water?
We do not understand your question. Tell the story of water. You would speak to water. You would ask it to give you its experiences. There is not, again, as we have said, each droplet has its own consciousness. Each droplet and each atom and molecule within each droplet has its own information, has its own consciousness. So the query is not, we are not relating to the question, the story of water. Which story? Again, you have an infinite number of realities available to you. So choose the story you want.
Thank you. I I think that my the way I phrased the question was misleading. Um, but I appreciate your answer because within the things that you said, I gained a lot of insight about water. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. If you find another way to phrase the question, we are always available to you.
Thank you, and I appreciate that. I may take you up on that.
That is fine.
Thank you.
Is
And
there more, or are we
I,
complete?
I believe that is all of the questions, but in my mind, everything that was created was a thought, which then manifested.
Whose thought?
I don't know. I'm not at that level.
No, it was not a thought. We would say no to that. It was again, uh, when you say a thought, you bring linear time into play, because first you have the thought, then you have the manifestation of the thought. Okay, and also when you say thought, this has a very human connotation to it. Uh, do rocks think? Do ants have thoughts? You have to define what you mean by thought. And we would say, no, again, it just is. It just is. Creation just is. And you create, okay, there have been those who said you create through intent, belief, and desire, and that is one way that you can manipulate physical reality. But it goes far beyond that, far beyond. These human concepts are limiting, and they're supposed to be limiting. We are not saying, oh, there's something wrong with you or you're stupid or whatever because you are so limited. No, you are limited on purpose. You came into physical reality limiting because you wanted to experience what this is, and you wanted to gain more knowledge for future creations, you see, because you never stop creating. You're always creating. Now, it has been said that everything exists in concept before it exists in reality. And again, you have that before. But in physical reality, this is true. There is a concept first, if you want to look at it in a linear fashion. And then that concept is brought into physical reality. But again, remember that you are creating it. A scientist who mm, discovers something, they go into the theory. They say, okay, uh, I don't know, light travels at so many vibrations, so many miles per second, right? Now they have this belief, and so they create an experiment, and then they say, aha, it is proven. Well, no, it's not proven. It is because they created the experiment to prove what they wanted to prove. You see, the experiment is not outside of their reality. The experiment is not objective. They say it is objective, but it is not. It is their creation. Just as everything that you experience, nothing is done to you. You invite it, you experience it because you want to. You see?
Yes.
Good.
And I believe that is it for the questions for tonight. Thank you very much, Eve, and
You are
our
very
regards
welcome.
to Yvonne as well for bringing you in. It's been an enlightening session, and we are very pleased and look forward to you coming back again and again. Thank you.
Thank you. We would leave you with this message. We know you always ask us if we have a final message. And that message is how valid you are, how much a part of creation you are, and how if you did not exist, what a loss that would be to the cosmos. So please always remember how, in your terms, beautiful you are, how relevant you are, how important you are to all of creation.
Thank you.
We are complete. Okay, we are back.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Uh, Thank you for having me. That was not what I expected tonight would be, but frequently it isn't at all what I think it's going to be. So, uh, uh, as long as it's useful to you all and you all get something out of it,
Yes.
I'm happy.
Well, and I thought that Eve was going to get upset that I said, "Yeah, we look forward to you coming back again and again." Because no, all time is simultaneous.
Yeah, yeah, and she could have, but she's too
She
kind.
let me slide.
And you know that's I remember when Jane Roberts was channeling Seth all the time, and she was having uh, illnesses. She had thyroid problems and all this stuff. And people were always saying, well, with all the knowledge that you have from Seth, how come you're ill? You know, but our physical selves, our physical lives are not necessarily all that entangled with those that we channel, you know, they're not us. Well, they are us, but they're a different part of us, a different form of us. So uh I run into that frequently throughout my day where something will pop up and I'll say, don't think of it that way, Yvonne, you know, remember what Eve said. But that doesn't mean I can do it. I can't necessarily turn it on and off and on and off. Though I'm getting better. I always say that I'm getting better over the
Cool.
years. And a nice test will be Monday when I go for my next eye shot because I didn't I didn't go for the one on my left eye. I was supposed to go and I didn't feel well, and so I didn't go. And I didn't feel guilty about it because, you know, they found something in my eye. They gave me a shot. The next time they looked at the eye, it was gone. Well, I had been meditating, so I cured it. And they were like, well, we don't know about that. You know, we want to give you the shot just to be sure, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like the doctor cannot accept that we can cure things without, you know, their medical brouhaha. So when I go in Monday for the right eye, uh, I don't know what to expect. I don't know if they're going to say, well, now you didn't get the left eye shot, so, you know, get out of here, or whether they're going to look at it and say, it still hasn't come back. So it's going to be interesting because I believe there's not, it's going to be fine. You know, I'm still, yeah, and I'm still doing my meditations every night.
Well
Well,
done.
I've expanded it a little bit, but because initially I was just doing the golden white light in my eyes, but now I'm doing it throughout my body because I feel like there are other things that need to improve, you know, and this is the best way I can think of uh, to do it. So we'll see.
Cool. And you know, when I hear people who talk about Jane Roberts and they say, well, how come, she didn't heal herself? Well, there are countless other lives that she led, which she did.
That's right. That's
We
right.
just experienced the one be with the books that we have stored in our memories.
Right.
That's a lesson for us that she was also a human and fallible, and that she didn't release all of that negative energy and those beliefs which didn't serve her, which then manifested in her body. So,
Yes. Yes. Definitely. I'm always intrigued. The whole Rupert controversy is the one out of all of the magnificent, fascinating things that I got through the Seth material. That's the one that hits me the most because it so much proves to me about creating our own reality. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that or not, but you're not. But she was called by Seth either Rupert or Rubert, right? And there was a big controversy in the Seth community about which one it was. And people would pull out their books and they would say, look, it says right here in my book, Rupert. And then I would pull out my book and I would say, look, it says right here in my book, Rupert. So we had the two going on at the same time, the two realities simultaneously. And I just love that and think that's so fascinating and such, if we have to have a proof, such proof, of simultaneous realities. So
yep,
anyway, yeah.
cool. And thank you. And we're going to go ahead and call this session a wrap.
Alrighty.